beings eat
Yeah.
food for survival, right? We eat food for survival,
Mhm.
right? Yes, some people
and
might
and
eat
w-
food.
and we make food. We
Yeah,
make
that's
food. You can give that inside that. Yeah, how when you can go to the inception that how that came. But if we stop producing food from tomorrow, then we're gonna die.
hold on. That's a different topic. What I'm talking about is we
Still
eat
talking.
food for, yeah, we eat food
Okay,
for,
hold on.
we
Sorry,
eat.
sorry, sorry. I
Hmm.
don't know why everyone goes like that's a different topic. I don't know
No,
if this is like.
we can talk about that, but that's not what we're talking about right now. You're saying that okay,
I
food,
noticed
someone
that
else, it's.
everywhere
I
is
can,
like this. This.
we
Hold on,
can,
hold on.
we
That's
can
a
talk about
different
that.
topic. I'm sorry, sorry.
Okay, let me
Continue.
talk about that. Okay, let's talk about that because the main thing remains there, right? What we are actually discussing. If I
Yeah.
give an example of a car, you said, okay, Henry Ford made the car. If there were no cars, how would we go ahead and drive, right? How would we go ahead and? Are we discussing Henry Ford right now? We're not.
No, no, no,
If you
that's
say that, okay, we create the food ourselves, all right, you create the food ourselves. That's fine.
no,
So you create.
create it,
So do
not
you? Oh,
create anything. Just
hold on.
we give our hardship too.
Where do you get the raw material of the food from? Where do you get the raw
Yeah,
material from?
I know that you will ask that. I know you will ask that. Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, where do you get the raw material from? Okay, if you say that, okay, I have a seed, for example, I put the seed in there. Where do you get the water from? Create your own water. If you're
Yeah.
creating your own food,
Actually, we are
get your own
dependent.
water.
We are dependent. We are
That's
dependent.
my
What we
that's the
have
point.
given.
That's the
Yeah,
point. That's
we are
the point.
dependent. Yeah.
You can still survive.
But
You
thing
can.
is, you can't nullify our hardship too. You can't nullify. Like you can't nullify. I agree and I appreciate that it was always there, but you can't like nullify that we also gave our hardship and
What
we
kind?
also do to
What kind of
sustain
hardship?
our life.
What
At
kind of
least
hardship? No, hold on. What kind of hardship?
man, don't ask that. You know that everybody has their challenges. Every
See,
human being have
that
their
is
challenges.
because okay, I'll give an answer to this. This is not put there by God. This is put by humans. Why? Because if you have a capitalistic system today that you're living under a capitalistic system where everything is monetized. Do you know
God
today
doesn't hold
people?
on, hold on. You say that God doesn't give that. Like I think I heard that no leaf, no leaf, like no leaf pushes or no object, like no object is like pushes or like nothing happens no without the like green signal of God. I think it's
No,
God wishes
it's
or
not like that.
whatever
You
happens.
no, it's not like that.
It's not
It's not
like
like that. Let me tell you what this is. This is that you have been given a free will, right? You have been given a free will to choose whether to drink milk or water or poison. Now, if you're given a free will, God is telling you to make the right decision. If you go ahead and make the decision of poison, you say that okay, why did not God tell me to drink water? He's telling you use your intellect, not to drink poison. Its consequences are going to be wrong, right? He's telling you you have choices in front of you. He has given you a just social order. He has given you a just economic order, but you're not following that. You're following a capitalistic system, and sometimes you're following a communistic system. And in capitalistic system, you have set of people, the bourgeoisie, for example, right? And they are making the rules and
Adnan
regulations.
bhai,
Yeah,
Adnan bhai, I think I want to tell you something honestly. Sometimes I know people have choices, people have free will. Then, irrespective of those things, people find themselves in the low state.
that
Actually,
is
then
true. That is true.
that
Absolutely.
is true.
I'm not disagreeing with you. But what I'm talking about,
That,
it's just because is just because if you see, if I give you a manual to follow a car, this is how you're going to go ahead and drive the car. Now you go ahead and put instead of petrol, you put a diesel in that, right? You put a
uh-huh.
diesel in that. Now is that car going to function properly? It's not. So when we make wrong choices, you got to understand when we make wrong choices, when we misuse our free will has to
Mhm.
be in harmony. Our free will has to be in harmony
Exactly.
with nature, right? Listen to me, let me finish. You're asking too many questions, then you're not listening to
Mhm.
my answer.
I'm listening. Sorry.
Our free will has to be in harmony with nature. Our free will has to be. If it's not in harmony, there is going to be a problem, right? If you, as I give an example, if you put a diesel in a petrol car, it's not going to function. Now you say, okay, why did God not go ahead and tell me to put diesel? He gave you free will to make the right decision. It's up to you make a right decision, right?
Adnan bhai, you are not getting my point. Like, for instance, you are in Kashmir, you are born, and your father and your parents are trying hard to give you that education. But like, if you're not lucky enough to born on that place where you can not get the proper education, then what's your fault in that?
That's not,
Like,
see,
God
again,
made you.
you're not
No,
understanding the
that's not.
purpose.
What's wrong? This is.
There is a prophet. He's a prophet. His known is Noah. Noah. We call him Nuh, right? His name is Nuh,
Yeah.
Islam, right? He Are you with me?
Yeah.
He preached for 950 years, right? 950 years, right? He preached for
Oh,
950 years. Now listen to me.
yeah,
And there
yeah,
was and he didn't get the results that he wanted. There were no results, right? There were only few set of people who believed that he's the point here. My point here to tell you is that when you understand the worldview correctly, when you understand the purpose of existence correctly, then you will not be worried about the results. In our deen, you're not rewarded for the results, you're rewarded for the efforts, right? Yeah, rewarded for the that's right. Now let's say, for example, there's a person. Now listen to this example carefully. There is a person, he is in an
mhm,
environment where everybody is lying. Let me just put it like this. There is a person, he is in Vegas, Las Vegas. Las Vegas is
mhm,
the sin city of the world. There are few sin cities. One of them is Las Vegas. And when you have people in Vegas, not all of Vegas, but in particular area, you call it strip, right? So in that area, for example, there are all sorts of immoral activities people are involved in. This person is finds
mhm,
himself there, whatever way he finds himself there in this area, and he abstains himself from committing any immoral activity, and he keeps himself away from all this just because he knows
mhm,
that this is not the right thing to do, and my God does not like these activities, right? Exactly his
mhm,
brother, twin brother, he is in an environment, let's say, for example, he's in Medina, he's in Makkah or Medina, where you, or at any place, for example, where you do not have immoral activities, where people are dedicated to God. I'm giving an example, right? People are dedicated with, worshiping from morning to evening. They're not doing anything, they're just worshiping, right? This person is also worshiping.
mhm.
This person is also not involved in anything. In front of Allah, the reward of they are doing the same activity, nothing different. In front of Allah, these people are not same, because they found themselves in two different environments. The person who had
Yeah,
more
the
more
environment.
hold on, what I'm saying, listen to me. The person who
Yeah,
found
I got your point. Environment you
right,
told about.
environment. Now if you're saying that, okay, my life is tough, my life is real tough, so why is not God giving me, it's very difficult to have food on my plate, for example. It's very difficult. See,
Yeah,
the food thing, there's no religion or anything. The food, or the book or the hunger is the greatest religion of
it's
human.
costly. Yeah,
It's a great religion
costly.
of
Yeah.
human, I'm saying. I'm not saying costly.
Mhm,
I'm saying it's a number one religion. In Islam, we are told that the poverty is one step away from disbelief, because poverty can lead you away from God, right? Poverty, if
yeah.
you're
That's
poor,
absolutely true.
right?
Absolutely true.
So that's what Prophet ﷺ
Absolutely
said in
true.
a hadith. So poverty, because you're thinking about, feeding yourself.
Yeah, like
Get my point?
sustaining life is a bigger
Sustaining,
thing than preaching.
sustaining.
Yeah.
Now, one more point here to us, because I forgot. There was something in my mind already. My point here is that the feeding ourselves, right? That's the first thing, foremost thing. The second thing here is that Allah says that, we are here not about thinking about the results. Two different people, they're judged too differently. Now, I'll give an example. We're not looking for the results, only the efforts. For example, there's one person, there's a hadith of Prophet ﷺ, right? And hadith means like a narration that Prophet ﷺ said. So what he said was ajaban li amri mu'min, right? Wonders. Listen to this carefully.
Mhm,
This hadith.
mhm.
Ajaban li amri mu'min. That wonderful or an amazing is an affair. Hold on, my laptop charge is dying. Hold on one minute.
Okay.
One minute. All right. So ajaban, ajaban li amri mu'min, right? And the wondrous is an affair of a mu'min, of a believer, for example. Ajaban li amri mu'min. Kulluhu khair. There is khair for him in everything. What do you mean? What do you mean? You'll ask me, what do you mean there's khair for him in everything? Khair means goodness, right? There is goodness for him
Mm,
in everything. Like, wa in asaba, if this person, wa in asaba, if he follows adversity, like an adversity, darra, right? If he comes across adversity, like the tough times in life, right? If this
mhm,
person who's a believer, he comes across the tough times in life, and what he does, sabara fakana khairan lah, he shows patience, he's patient at it, on the adversities that befall him. It is good for him, it's best for him. That's one. Second situation is, if this person gets prosperity, sarra, gets sarra, prosperity, and in the
mhm,
prosperity he does shukr, shakara fakana khairan lah. In adversity we are commanded to have patience. In prosperity, we're commanded to have thankfulness. Now, what we consider
mm,
today, it's because of the Western liberal ideas and values, and it's because of the Protestant work ethic, right? If you read about sociology, you'll find these things there. That is because of the output of it. We think that if somebody has a luxurious car and a mansion, he's successful. That's not how Islam looks at it. Islam looks at it as
no,
both ways. Yeah, and this is very important because this is the difference between Islam. I'm not saying Muslims because Muslims are also subconsciously following the liberal values and the Protestant work ethic. The thing is, in Islam, it said that if Allah,
everybody's function like this. You can't help it.
because
Okay.
I'll tell you the reason for it. Ask me this in a while. I'll tell you why. The thing is, it's not a mark of a success. It's Allah is testing you by giving you something. He wants to see if you would really do shukr and say that, okay, this thing was given to me by Allah. If He takes away from you something, now He wants to see that. Takes away means He can take health away from you, money away from you, anything away from you. Very tough time. But He wants to now see, we consider in Surah Mulk, it's mentioned in Surah 67 as a second ayat of that. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن أملا. The only purpose of existence of humans here is to see that who is best in their deeds. And
Mm-hmm.
liyabluwakum ayyuk, right? Allah created this life to test who is good in their deeds, for example. Now, what does it mean? If a person goes from adversity, his job is to be patient. If he is patient,
Mm-hmm.
he is successful. Now you see, this person is in adversity, and he is suffering, for example, what we consider as human suffering, and his response to that, because you have free will, Allah wants to see that you are using free will to do sabr here, then you're successful. It's an eternal success. 50 years, 60 years doesn't make any sense. Thousands of eternity, you're successful. Another person, he's prosperous in this world, what we consider as prosperity. He has good health, food on the plate, he's got everything, but he is not thankful on that. He's not showing shukr on that, right? He's doomed. This person is doomed. So in prosperity, you show thankfulness, you're successful. In adversity, you show sabr, you show patience, you're successful. This is the definition of success in Islam. This is our worldview. This is how we look at things. We should look at things. People don't, but this is what the teachings of Islam are. There is a great example of this in Surah Kahf. Two people are there, right? One has a garden, right? But he is full of fruits and grapes and everything, palm trees. But he says that I did it myself. This is an output of my hard work, right? Then this person is doomed.
Mm-hmm.
We say that everything that's given, it's given to us by our Creator. Anything is taken away from Him. In both the situations, He's testing us. When we are doing sabr and when we are doing shukr, right? That's it. This is the crux that I'm trying to tell you here. If now you are, if a person is wearing green glasses, Hamza also says this. If a person is wearing green glasses and is looking at this world, everything will look like green. You put in red glasses, everything will look like red. So the thing with the humans right now is today where we are looking at the world with the liberal glasses, liberal values, right? So we say that, okay,
It's
if
not
I, if,
unless we do, like it's not unless we take. So the world functions sometimes, against the Allah's wishes too. Like I
for
think
example,
that destined to happen, man.
for example,
Is not it? For example, like how some the world is running and everything is going on. Somehow there
you're not
has been.
understanding. No, no, no. Hold on. The world is running right now. So Allah says that this is
Mhm.
ajalin musamman. You call it ajalin musamman, the time where Allah has given you a free will to do, right? You do these things, but He tells you, okay, this is the right, this is wrong, right? You follow these things, you're on the right path. You follow this, you're going to be doomed, right? You're
Man
going to.
would always do that stuff that like that
Sorry,
helps.
sorry.
Like someone on self will always do that is beneficial for him, for his family. you so you can't help it. You can't help
I don't
it.
understand what you're talking.
uh,
What you're saying.
actually, you know you told about free will,
Hmm,
and how this is result of giving humans free will,
hmm.
but it is destined to happen, don't you think?
Like what?
That's what I asked.
Okay, this chaos. It's also in the
Yeah,
Quran.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
in Quran, yeah, in Quran, Allah says, "Zahra al-fasadu min al Zahra al-fasadu fil barri wal bahr bima kasabat aydiyan nas." The chaos, the
Hmm.
corruption, or you can say, I don't have the word for the
Mhm.
fasad. Fasad means, It's the opposite of harmony. It's like a disharmony, like zahra al fasadu fil bahri wal bahr.
Mhm.
Bar means land, bahr means
Mhm.
sea, there's water. So Allah says the corruption, or we can say the disharmony. I don't have the right word for it in English. For example, corruption or this has appeared on the land because of what the hands of people have earned. It's like the people's
Mhm.
deeds are giving us the consequences of what's happening around. For example, as I told you earlier on, if we have made our system as capitalistic system, for example, okay, we
Mhm.
see we made lots and lots of technological advancements, science is advanced, artificial intelligence. Tell me one reason why humans, take the religion out of it, of humans, for example, everything out. Humans have made the technological advancements. Why humans, United Nations, so many big countries are not able to end poverty?
Mhm.
Why science does
I
not come
think
up with anything
it's.
to end poverty? You know why? Because the choices we made. If we have the, for example, a capitalistic system, or the modern, financial system that the world works under, like the IMF and all that, these things work under, it is necessary that new poor people will be created. It's because you've designed a
Mhm.
system like that, right? It's
Agree.
it's
Agree.
it's an
Totally
it's an
agree.
unjust system. I'll give you one
Mhm.
last thing, then we'll conclude. So we had people used to live first in isolation. Then there was pastoralism. I told you earlier, nomadic life. You go from one place to another.
Mhm.
Then you live. Then agriculture grew, and then people started living in tribes. I'll start from there. When I started living in tribes, and then you had a head, like, and then you had a king, for example. So king was what? He was a authoritarian. He would give his own laws and regulations, right? And people,
Mhm.
when people realize that we are getting exploited for many things, I don't want to go in that, people revolted against it. And we saw that in French Revolution 1792. French Revolution, people
Mhm.
revolted. They said that we're not going to accept this. Because why? I'm talking about the system, not humans here, right? We're talking about how the society functions. And societal function, they didn't accept it. There were people like Rousseau, Voltaire, and all these French revolutionary French writers there who wrote about things criticizing the authority of a ruler, for example, there. So there was French Revolution,
Mhm.
and you dismantled the monarchy. Monarchy was dismantled, and now you had a democratic system. But in the democratic system, you again had the problems. What happened in democratic system? What is democracy? Many of the scholars, they say it's the tyranny of majority. 60 people want this person to be elected, 40 want this. Now, what happened to
Mhm.
40? So they say it's a tyranny of majority. Majority are imposing their ideas on 40. Get my point? So they're imposing, and
Mhm.
those 40 have to accept it. Now they say that it's a tyranny. That's what they say. They say that this is the only way through which the society can function because we don't have a better system. So what happened in democracy? Now what happened in some oligarchs, the people with a lot of money, they started making rules like the capitalists. Now we had a new system altogether. Some people rose, in Russia. They said that it is nonsense. We need a better system. Throw out this capitalism. We will have an equal society where nobody is going to own a private ownership. Nobody is going to inherit anything. We're going to start, every person who is born, he's going to start from a level playing field. You get my point? So they you call them
Mhm.
communists. Bolshevik revolution happened 1910 or 1914, or whichever year it was,
Mhm.
1914, during the World War in Russia. So they said we're going to dismantle Bolshevik revolution, right? So we're going to start every. So what the problem that you had? There are people, they are making this. Bolsheviks solved it. They said that we're going to give you food, we're going to give you everything. You're not going to own anything. Everyone has equal car. If you go back in 80s in India, there was only one car, Maruti 800 ambassador for the government officials. There was one TV channel, Doordarshan. Everyone was same, right? For example, so because the system was uniform. So we believed at that time, for example, the Russians believed at the time, they said that equality for everyone. We're going to give you government houses to live in, but you're not going to own anything. The moment you own things, right, then that's the class difference going to be created. We want to have an equal society. But this was what happened. The logical consequence of this: one party became dictator. Your freedom of choice gone, your freedom of thought gone. So when you humans have experimented over the period of time with different systems, they first experimented, in France, then they experiment another country, then they experiment another country. So we're going from one experiment to another. My one experiment is leading us to a good conclusion, but that's giving us a wrong byproducts. You're following me?
Mhm.
So far, I'm not talking about humans, individual guidance. I'm talking about guidance as a society, as a humanity, as a whole. Today, I told you that humans, why they have not been able to abolish poverty, science, technology, so much advancement, because you do not have the just social order today. We're just experimenting here and there. And if I tell you, there are thousands of criticisms of a democratic system. The only reason why we have a democratic system that is successful in the world that people follow is because the transfer of power in that is bloodless. That's the only reason. If you go and read, they say that transfer of power is bloodless. So I think that's fine. But they still agree that democracy gives us people like Hitler or dictators. They give us dictators, right? Because majority decides. Majority candidates, you have to submit. It gives us Hitler was elected on a vote, for example, right? So now we
Mm-hmm.
are in a situation right now where it is the social, where is the just social order? Where is the just social order? Where it tells us what is our financial system going to look like. If the financial system is based on the one, if it's based on a free will or it's based on human reason, then we're not, we're sorry, we failed. We failed there because we're not able to stop poverty, and there is no reason. I was just recently looking at the economic, that forum that was happening there. There's no way that we can stop it. Today people do not have access to free drinking water, clean drinking water, but they have access to internet. In the remote villages they have access to internet there, but there's no free drinking water was put there, and my god, it should be free. Basic law, just like the air is free. I'm giving example. Don't think the water, that's a basic requirement of human life. It should be free, but we're purchasing water, and then that's still not clean. Why? Because this is a corruption that human beings have brought in. Now where it comes in, what things comes in, it comes Islam that has an answer to all of these things. I'm not talking about as an
All of
individual.
this.
All of these things, absolutely. But the thing is, I'll tell you what the problem is. Muslims are like those snakes. They are sitting on a treasure. They are not using the treasure themselves, and they're not allowing others to see the treasure. That's a treasure
Mhm.
Muslim. Honestly, I'm telling that to you.
So
If
the colonialism, injustice, unemployment, poverty, there is one solution, only
there
Quran.
is, absolutely, absolutely. See, because you know why I'm saying this is a solution? Because these
Mhm.
solutions are given to us by who created it. He gives you how to go ahead and live in a society. He tells you about it. If you have, and that society is built on the faith that's within you. And that's what Prophet Sallallahu, he spent his entire life in Mecca, of 13 years he spent in Mecca, of building faith. And then you had an empire in Medina, or I don't call it an empire, the city state of Medina. You see it, the social just order that was there. If you go and read the city of Medina, you see that it's happening. You see,
Mhm.
if you see that within few years, these people there, they didn't have any military power. They never were. They didn't have any previous civilization, but they dismantled the two superpowers of their time: the Romans, Byzantines, and the Persian Empire at that time. What was it? They were,
Mhm.
you get my point. And it continued later on, not because somebody is just like Mongol is coming and he's just chopping the heads of them. Not like that. People accepted because it had an appeal, because it was justice. They said it's just. There is the rules. Your judiciary was working on a just order. If you see Sayyidina Ali Raziyallahu anhu, who was the son-in-law of Prophet Sallallahu, and the fourth Caliph of Islam. If you go ahead and see, during a time, you see the history that there was a person, he was a Jew. He found a zira, it's used in in defense in battle. So he had that. He found it somewhere, a Jew, right? And he found it, and he said, "This belongs to me." They went to a judge, and Judge Sayyidina Ali is saying, "This belongs to me." He says, "Okay, what's your witness?" He said, "Bring two witnesses. If there are two witnesses, I'm going to give this. I'm going to say this belongs to you, and this does not belong to the Jew, because the Jew is claiming it's mine. So the thing belongs to the person who it's found with. If there is a pen in your pocket, this belongs to you. If I say this pen belongs to me, then I have to bring witness. You get my point? What's the criteria?
Mhm.
So if this was found with the Jew, now who has to bring the witness? So then Ali Razal an, right? Not the Jew. So because this is found with him. So judge asked him, okay, get the witness. He said, I have two witnesses. One is the person, my worker, and second is my son. He said, no, your son's witness, we're not going to. He said that, I'm Ali. Do you think I'm going to lie? He said that, the rules are for all. The Jew said that, he said that it belongs to you. The Jew was amazed and astonished by this justice. He said, you might be the greatest truthful person, Ali, Razallah, right? But our social justice here says that this belongs to him. That's the order. He said, I'm good. He said, that's in front of Allah. But here we're going to go ahead and go by the laws that are governed. So this is the justice system that was there in place. The reason why is you do not know about it is because of problems with Muslims. Muslims as a whole have not been able to set a society, and I'm ashamed of it myself.
Mhm.
We're not able to set up a society based on those values and principles. We just talk, and this truthfulness, this justice is not. Allah says, if there's anything that Allah says clear cut in the Quran, that He has ordered. You see, if you see the transition of Siyam, for example, where Allah says that you should fast, He says kutiba alaykum siyam. The word there is kutiba. Kataba yaktubu means to write. So when He says, but you translate it in the translation, you say Allah ordered you. But kutiba means it's written for you. For example, prescribed for you. Allah didn't say He ordered you. I'm giving you in reference
Mm.
what Allah actually ordered was kul amara rabbi bil qist. Allah ordered justice. So the word order is with actually with justice. Kul amara rabbi bil qist, surah number 7. So Allah ordered that in this world
Used
there
out
should
of
be.
context.
You get my point? No, there is
Mhm.
also, but I'm saying Allah did order to Muslims to fast, but I'm saying the terminology here. Allah didn't say amara. Allah ordered you. The word amara is for the order. He says kutiba. Right? It's like doctor prescribing you something. Doctor prescribes. Doctor doesn't order you. Get my point? So it's a semantic.
Same with the persecute and all those persecuted verses. I think those have been
That's
misrepresented
that's
and
see
like.
that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Mhm.
Islam is a guidance in your individual life as well as in your collective life as a community. If you're having a problem, like you're saying, okay, it's very my personal life is difficult. Why is not God helping me? This is connected with the
Mhm.
society. It's not connected with an individual because you find yourself in a society that's based on injustice. That's based on where a powerful is exploiting the poor. Allah does not like powerful exploiting the poor. This is anti-Islam. It's anti-Islam. So when you have laws, for example, social laws that are anti-Islamic, how is the justice going to come? And when you have
And that's
the light in front of you, that light is going to go ahead and guide you. Otherwise, when there is no light, it's just the person is just moving here and there in the darkness. The room is closed,
yeah,
and you do not know where the door is, where the door opens. You'll only find the door when there is light. So the guidance of God becomes very important in that case because it helps us move in the right direction. It tells us that when we earn money
yeah.
using legal activities, not illegal activities. Today, earning money is just you need to have money. Doesn't matter where you got it from. But we believe that we're going to be accountable for what we did. We're going to be accountable from the
Mhm.
source of the money. We had to be we are accountable. Now this is a light for you. It's a guiding light, right? It tells you that it doesn't mean that you're going to exploit someone else, right? And just
Mhm.
fill your own
No,
pocket.
not jizya taxation too.
Jizya is different. I mean, see, if you want, it's
Oh, yeah.
already 110 right now, right? I can talk about it, but we'll have more conversations and discussions. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the whole
Jizya,
front. Yeah, yeah. I think you have. I really got to applaud that. Like you have really liberal point of view, and your approach is really cool from the others.
liberal,
Like
you
I
can
love.
say with
Yeah.
a small L, not a capital, because when I say the capital L, that's an ideology, right? That's liberal.
No, the way you speak, like I really love to listen. I think that should have to be an approach for whoever explaining all these complex, not complex, metaphorical things actually. Like stuffs are so that in the time of social media, there has been agendas to like making person like us. So I think there should have to be people like you too.
It's already more than 2 hours. So,
Mhm,
so what I want you to do today now, I mean, today or whenever you get time, you read the Quran, right? And you will read the Quran from chapter 50, 50, 51, 52, 53, and 54. All right. So I'm going to repeat
mhm,
50, including 50. That's Surah Qaf.
mhm,
51 is Zariyat. 52 is Tur. 53 is Najm. And 54, that's Qamar.
mhm,
So these four surahs you're going to read. You can download the translation of the Quran from online.
mhm,
Mustafa Khattab, right? The
mhm,
clear Quran. Because why I'm suggesting you that, because it's very easy for
mhm,
somebody who does not come from the Muslim background, for example, because he has actually devised it in right paragraphs for the easier understanding, right? If somebody doesn't know the background for a certain thing, he paraphrases it very nicely. So you read
Actually,
that.
what happens? They
You go
don't
ahead.
read it from start to end.
That
They
no no
just
no
like
no, you don't have to. You
uh,
don't have to read from start. And Quran is not a one-dimensional book, or it's not a biography like Bible or any such thing that you have to start. You can start from anywhere. Quran is a multi-dimensional book, right? You can start from any surah, and all surahs are different. As I said, that inshallah we will be starting the classes to the introduction of the Quran that gives an introduction, for someone who is not familiar with it, right? How to approach the Quran, how
mhm,
to read, where to start from, and where is the guidance, where we're looking for, because the guidance of the Quran is right there on its surface. We know going
mhm.
digging deeper legal things in it, for example, laws in it, for example, that's going dig deeper. Obviously, that needs a specialized knowledge. But somebody who wants to gain guidance for it, it's tried on its surface. Just like, if you have a great oil tanker and oil falls on the ocean, all the oil occupies the surface of it. It doesn't go inside, right? So on the surface, you can have the guidance. So we can easily grasp what the people like us. We easily grasp the guidance what the Quran is trying to tell us first in experience, right?